are going to open up a new document. And under document type, you want to pick US paper. And just make sure before you click OK that your color mode is on RGB color. And then click OK. Fill the background. Does everybody remember how to fill the background? You go to Edit and Fill. I want you to pick yellow, orange, or red.
Any shade?
Any shade of those colors, but just pick yellow, orange, or red. Hmm? Do you know where you're at right now? If you created a monster that has 4 eyeballs, I'm going to show you how to flatten the eyeball and copy it. But let's make one first, okay? So you're going to get your elliptical marquee tool. It's the second tool down from the left under the move tool. You're going to bring it over here, kind of, you know, put it kind of towards the top of the page and make a circle. And start a new layer. So you should have ants marching on a new layer. Okay. Yay.
It took me a while to get started with a triangle.
Okay, edit, fill. This is like our the white color of our eye, so make it white. And then you can hit Control D to deselect it. And you have an eyeball. And at this point, like if you didn't make it big enough, you can hit Control T, make it bigger. If you're gonna make like skinny, crazy eye, whatever you want to do. I'm just gonna stick with a circle for right now. Hit Control Alt Z, drop shadow on the eye. So it kind of gives a shadow under the eye. So if you would please go to Layer, Layer Style, and you see you have options here. We're going to click on Drop Shadow, and it's going to give you a preset box. Now, I have some presets for you, so don't click OK. So I want your blend mode on multiply. Your opacity is 75%. Your angle is 45. Your distance is 4. Your spread is 0. And your size is 10. Once you have filled all that out, you can click OK. To put a concave shadow on your eye. So what I want, well, no, okay, let's make the iris first. So new layer, double click and type iris so we know what's in there.
Misty, how does this look for science?
Looks great.
I don't want to put too much.
Don't put too much because they're going to put stuff in there.
So
Yeah.
that was good.
Yes. Okay, so to add the iris, and you guys, I don't know if you want, but I'm going to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to get my elliptical marquee tool. And I'm going to make an iris. So I've got this same thing as the eye base. But you want it smaller because this is the colored part of your eye. So then this is where you can fill it whatever color you want. Remember, you're making a monster. So I'm going to make mine like a nice blue. And then I'm going to hit Control D. I put mine over too far, so I'm going to get my move tool and kind of center it in my eye. So on the iris part of the eye, so you really need to please pay attention. Start a new layer. I want this layer called concave shadow. Now, I am going to select the iris. The way I'm going to do that is everybody look up here and watch. I'm going to hit Control and click in my iris box. Make sure you click on the thumbnail and you see how it selects it, but I'm still in my new layer. So the iris needs to be selected and you need to be in the new layer. So I'm going to use a gradient. So the gradient is this box that goes from dark to light. This gives you like that variation of 10. So click on your gradient tool and you're going to pick, you want the transparent one. Do you all remember what the transparent one is? It's the one with the checkerboards behind it. I'm just using black, okay?
Last one, right?
Huh?
Is it the last one?
Yes, I don't know, it might be different in your box, but make sure the opacity is up to 100%. And while the ants are moving, so make sure your ants are moving, you're going to draw a line through your eye, and I picked the wrong gradient. Make sure you have the transparent gradient. And there you go.
How do you draw the line?
You click and pull down and click. Layer, and you're going to add a new layer from there. So your new layer should be in between the concave shadow and the iris. We are going to put some color variation in our eye. Oops.
So, what do we call it? I feel like no matter what gestures color variation, they'll never overtake you.
Yeah, that'll work. I'm just going to, you can put cavity shadow if you want. Okay. So the way we're going to do this is, you want to select your paintbrush, which is underneath this spot healing tool. It kind of looks like a Band-Aid. It's the brush. Please make sure you're not on the history brush. The history brush is the one with the arrow, like it's before. That's history brush. You just want the plain old brush tool, okay? So I am going to go down on my brush presets, which if you pull this little arrow down here, it gives you all kinds of options for brushes. And I have decided that I like this brush, which is, I'm not sure what it's called. It's the round fan stiff thin bristle. So you're also going to change your normal to, let's make it soft, light. And I make sure we're going to pick white. So you need to be working in white, and you select it over here in your color picker tool.
Okay, where did we get the soft?
There's a mode right beside the brush preset. You have to pull it down and hit soft light. Okay, so I'm going to go in and paint a little bit of white. Okay? I want to do the same thing I just did, except I'm going to use black. Okay? So all you have to do is change your brush to black. And then you're just going to put some of these squiggly lines in here. Now, the next step to this. There is this tool down here that it's under the gradient tool. And if you right click on it, it gives you the smudge tool. Watch, guys. I'm going to take my smudge tool and kind of smudge this up just a little bit. It's under the gradient tool, and you have to right click to select it. It looks like a teardrop initially. Alright, so start a new layer, and you remember how I showed you that trick where you hit Control and you click in the iris? Go ahead and do that again. I want your iris selected, but I want you in the new layer. And I want you to call this layer Iris Stroke. We are going to paint again. So after you do that, you can get in your paintbrush. And we're going to pick the blurry paintbrush. It's really big, so I need to move it down some. Okay. So I want you to change the blending mode to multiply. And you are going to pick a darker shade of your iris color and watch, then do. I'm going to go around the iris just a little bit. You don't want like a ton. And then that's it. That's all you do in this one. The pupil, and then we're going to add like some highlights on the eye. So I want you to start a new layer and name it pupil. And guess how we're going to make the pupil?
Fill in black.
Yes, you're going to make a circle and you are going to fill it with black. And we're going to call it Retina Highlights. Okay, so make sure this is under, all this should be under the concave shadow, guys, okay? So get your paintbrush, and we want to set the mode back to normal. And I'm going to stick with my fuzzy brush, and I am going to pick white as my color. Now, can you just watch and then you can do? So I'm going to put like a highlight here, and then I'm going to put highlights down here. And I'm going to use maybe a little of light blue. And actually, I might use a little bit of orange too. And then I'll smudge these together. And then that's my retina highlight